Can you get 2 million pops with the primary expertise? So let's see if this thing is possible. The primary expertise is an absolute meme of a tower, and the problem with getting 2 million pops with the primary expertise is that the upgrade itself costs $27,000, so not to mention that the entire tower cost is going to be easily over $30,000, right? Now the way that you make money in BT6 actually in the early rounds is pretty slow, so you're making a couple of hundred, and by the time that you actually have enough money for a primary expertise, you might have missed your window. So what I'm saying is that if you want to get the 2 million pops challenge, there is a total of 2,042,693 pops in chimps mode. So technically the total amount of pops that you can afford to lose is, well, 42,692. And let me, by the way, place Geraldo here at the corner of the top. There we go. So you guys see the problem, right? You might be finding yourself in a situation in which you're not able to afford the primary expertise and let alone, you know, hit the pop threshold. But I do have a plan for this one. Now I actually ran the numbers before starting this thing, and it turns out that by round 53 you have about 40,000 pops in total that have occurred by that point in the game, and the total amount of money that you have made is about $41,000. So what I'm saying is that there's a chance. So what this means is that our defense needs to be absolutely as cheap as possible, and at the same time we need to be very careful about the pops because literally every dollar and every pop counts. Now there's also a way to extend this deadline of round 53 by using Geraldo, because if you give the Jerry's Fire to a village, all the pops that Jerry's Fire does are going to get credited to the tower itself, so to the village, which means that around 53 threshold can be moved by a handful of rounds, which is going to be very, very useful, I feel like. Alright, so now let's quickly talk strategy. We're using the subs because the subs have this submerged support upgrade, which allows them, well, to get submerged, and when they are submerged, they are not taking away any pops. And wait a minute, are we defending this one? It's going to get close. We need to get the airburst. Yeah, there we go. So essentially what's happening in these rounds is that until we can get the Jerry's Fire, we essentially don't care about, well, it's not that we don't care, but we can't do anything about these pops getting taken by the subs, right? So let me actually go like this. Let me get the advanced intel, and now we're gonna have some lead balloons on the next round. So the problem is, how do you deal with these guys? So if you buy something like, I don't know, like a sniper, like a 100 sniper or whatever it is, like that's gonna be a problem because it's gonna be taking away pops. So the solution I came up with is actually by buying an alchemist, which is gonna go like this at the end of the track. So it's not gonna be able to attack the track or anything else. It's just gonna be here. Okay, so airburst darts at the bottom, that's by design, actually, the way that I upgraded these subs so that we have the damage over here, and so far so good. Oh wait, we're leaking actually. What if I buy a glue right here, which is going to be able to attack all three parts of the track? So let's go like this. It's only going to be a 0/0/0 glue. I'm going to have this thing on strong. So before these guys reach the alchemist, like, they're going to get slowed a little bit, and maybe this is going to be enough. I really don't want to be spending a lot of money. Like, I'm going for the cheapest towers, and by the way, the glue is a nice one, right? Because it doesn't take away pops either. And yeah, there we go. That's all it took. Let me get some emergency support for this one, and this guy is going to be our decam, or eventually this guy's going to get bought as well. But let's just chill for a second, and let me just check Geraldo's level. So he's level 6. He's about to hit level 7. Oh yeah, look at this thing. These levels are barely going. I mean, I'm not even sure if we're going to have this thing for the Moab around 40. Let me actually unsubmerge this guy. So set it to first. Have both of the subs attacking. Yeah, this is like a long ways off, guys. And I think it's time for us to get the village. Okay, so let's go like this. I was thinking of this being the spot for the village. It's going to be able to attack the track on 3 separate occasions. So this one right here, and then right here at the back. So let's go like this. Like, let me just buy the primary training. So both subs attacking the glue. Like, this alchemist is going to need to go to town. And how are we doing? So that was the first kind of wave. That's a huge wave of ceramics. Are we defending this thing? That's a lot of them, actually. I mean, I don't want to spending a lot of money, but like a jar of pickles, is this going to be enough? Like, it's only $110 that we spent. And now let's see if this is going to make any difference. So +1 damage on the sub. It's attacking a little bit slower, but I feel like the +1 damage is more important. And if we just don't pop all the lead balloons at once and we just take our time with it, yes, there we go. That was perfect. All right, now look at this thing. Primary mentoring on this one, and then look at this thing. Berry Glob, sticker glue for free, because this is going to be a 0/4 glue eventually, like in the future. But we got these upgrades for free, so that's really nice. And let me check Geraldo's level before we hit around 40. So he's not even close, guys. This is going to be like in the early 40s or something like that. But we have to defeat the mob just like this with our subs. I think it's going to be fine, especially because this one has a jar of pickles on it. And then we have the glue, which is going to slow down the ceramics. So where is this thing going to pop? So it is... Oh, that's actually really good, because these guys are going to be slower, so we can kind of separate the rounds. That's nice, actually. Yeah, there we go. That was actually a very lucky shot from the glue. There we go. And actually, look at this. It's round 41, and we need $180. I'm actually going to buy this thing, and let me just quickly place the Jerry's Fire onto the village. Let's submerge this one. Oh, we haven't even bought the upgrade, so let's submerge this one as well. And now this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, maybe by using the Jerry's Fire on the village, we're going to buy ourselves a couple more rounds when it comes to, like, these pops and the amount of money. Because look at this thing. So by submerging both of these subs, this village is already racked up like 1,000 pops, and these 1,000 pops would have been had by the subs, which already have like 5.5 and 6.6 thousand pops. So that's a lot of pops that we lost so far. far. Let's go like this. Let's unsubmerge. Let's go on strong, and strong should be focusing the purples, right? Am I wrong about that thing? I don't know, like I see a couple of purples. I see one for sure, and I think that one pops, so I'm gonna submerge it again. Oh, I see one more actually. So let's go like this, switch it to first. We cannot afford this thing taking any pops. You guys saw how close the numbers were, and I even though we're buying ourselves a little bit of time, I'm still scared about taking so many pops with this thing. So let's just chill for a second. And the Cherry's Fire is gonna expire onto this one. And again, this is one of those new costs thanks to update 44. So if we were doing this on an earlier update, we would not have spent $650 right here. It doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But it just adds up, because if we buy like 2 extra like Jerry's Fires, that's 1.3k, and this thing is like $27,000. So I do think it really adds up, right? And around 48. So let's unsubmerge this guy. Let's send him to strong so he deals with the purple layer, and then Jerry's Fire takes care of the small ones. And I think I'm actually gonna leave it unsubmerged for a second. Oh, that's a full purple. Let me move this guy to first real quick. Yeah, there we go. Let's move it to strong so he does a little bit of damage, but I don't want to leave him attacking like this, because he started around with 6.8k pops and he's up to 7.4. So that's 600 pops. Yeah, I think I should submerge him right now. Around 49. This round is going to be an absolute nightmare. I'm just going to let Jerry's Fire attack and see just how we do versus this one, but this is the most difficult round out of the 40, so we're definitely going to need some help. It's just the question is how much. And yeah, we're already leaking like full ceramics at the back. Let's try it like this. Let's unsubmerge both of the subs and let's see how much of a difference this is going to make. So the sub at the top is at 5.6k pops and this one is at 7.8. I don't know, a lot better than last time, but I can still see full ceramic just making it all the way around, and this is not, I don't like how this thing is going. By the way, we're gonna have some rainbows actually on this route, some regular rainbows now. It's not even normal ones. And are we dealing? Yeah, we dealt with the ceramics. It was barely at the end, but we dealt with them, I guess. And now the question is how much the rainbows are gonna regrow, and I think thanks to the DPS from Jerry's Fire, this is not helping us, guys. They're going out. No, that's so many regrows in the back. I don't think we're holding this. No, we're not holding it. We need to do something else. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. Because we're gonna go deep into the 50s and these rounds are already becoming hard, I was thinking of buying the plutonium reactor, which is like $2,500. It's a lot of money. You know what? I'm actually gonna do it, but the way that I'm reasoning this thing is that so we can save round 49 by using some Geraldo items, right? For example, we can drop a glue, we can drop like the pickles onto both of the subs, and we can give them the sharpening stones, but we're gonna need to keep doing that throughout the 50s as well. And so the way that I'm looking about this sub is that we're gonna save a lot of Geraldo cash by doing like one massive investment now instead of just, you know, plugging holes with small items. So that's gonna be round 49 that just got absolutely destroyed by a reactor. And you know what? I actually like the placement of this reactor because it's still not like it's not in the middle, right? It's not gonna be taking away any pops. It's very isolated. And now it's just gonna be the pop versus money game. So $27,000 with 15. We're missing 12k just to buy the primary expertise, but once we buy it, I feel like it's not gonna be an issue. But we seem to be having some other issues, and that is popping the Moab layer with the Cherry's Fire. Okay, so here's the play. We can unsubmerge this guy, we can send him to strong. There's actually this small little like absolutely wild change that happened to this tower, which is somehow gonna end up being useful for us. Okay, so while this round is ongoing, let me give you guys a little bit of context. So you might remember that a few updates ago, the Energizer tier 5 got a pretty interesting buff, and it was the airburst darts. Once you unsubmerge it, the airburst darts get +5 extra damage. And that was a change that's actually pretty laughable because no one unsubmerges the Energizer while you have the Energizer, because it gives so many nice things. Well, they did it again on the plutonium reactor airburst darts as well, and now these guys get like extra damage as well themselves. So, oh, by the way, the Jerry's Fire expired, so let me just buy it. And that's probably like the most meme change that you've ever seen, but in this specific game, it's gonna be useful because we're gonna be using this thing as more popping power, and we're gonna be cleaning out with the Jerry's Fire. So I can't believe that the meme change is actually doing something in an actual game, but I guess it is. So look at this, Moab's incoming. I'm gonna unsubmerge this thing. It is set on strong, so it's only dealing with the Moab layer, right? And then we're submerging it. We're letting the Jerry's Fire do as much damage as possible. By the way, this thing is up to like 11,000 pops, and the money is like not even nearly there. So let's see how it's gonna go. But do we need to submerge this thing? I hope not. So the first Moab is about to pop. Let's submerge it really quickly for those leftovers in the back. Let's unsubmerge it, do a little bit of damage to the Moab player. Oh, we need to submerge again. A huge wave at the bottom, but I don't want to be popping all these guys at the bottom with the sub, right? I want to be using the village and the Jerry's Fire as well. Let's submerge again for all these ceramics. Let's submerge it really quickly for these guys. This is a huge wave of small balloons. The Jerry's Fire is just not enough, guys. It just doesn't do enough damage. Let's unsubmerge again, do some damage to the Moab class balloons, and then let's, I guess, submerge again. That's a huge wave of Bloons on Submerge again. We're not even popping the Moab layer on this one. We might need to do something else, and this is exactly what I was trying to prevent actually by buying the plutonium reactor, but it's not looking good. Can we maybe save it? Like maybe just submerge this one. That was super close. On Submerge again, do some damage to the Moab. Wait, are we actually gonna save this thing? Let me not jinx it. It's gonna be super close. Oh my god, we actually got it. That's very good. Round 57, guys, we're $600, actually $500 off. This thing is like 20,000 pops. So we need to buy this thing on this round right now. So 16.26.9, we have the money. Let me buy the primary expedition. I'm spamming the button, by the way, and let me buy it. Yes, there we go. Submerge this guy real quick. 20,000 pops if this thing is stolen, 5.5 on this one, and then 800 on the Alchemist. But you know what? We finally got it, and now we can start actually collecting these pops more seriously. So first things first, the Jungle Drums Village actually doesn't work. Even though the primary expertise has a Jungle Drums in itself, it doesn't buff itself, so you actually need another village to buff this guy's attack suit, which I bought right here. Let's start buying up some towers that are actually going to benefit the primary expertise. So I was thinking of buying 2 overclock NGs, by the way, because one overclock NG has 67% uptime on tier 5 towers. So if we have 2, we're essentially going to guarantee 100% uptime, which is really nice. And now look at how strong this thing is, by the way. Have you guys actually used the primary expertise as a main DPS? Because this thing is really strong. It does 200 damage. It has a lot of pierce, but the only problem that it has is its attack speed, because it doesn't have a lot of attack speed. So the overclocks are going to fix that for sure. And look at this guy go, by the way. He's one-shotting, well, he's going to be one-shotting ceramics up until the end of the game, and he's also one-shotting mobs right now. This is insane, the amount of damage this thing does. And by the way, because we have the primary expertise, free upgrades, baby. Let's go. Let's get it. And finally, round 81. So free play is starting, and again, this thing is still one-shotting these guys. So it's not one-shotting mobs. It's actually two-shotting mobs now, which is I guess a little bit worse. But this damage is just way too much that he's doing. So let's do a couple of things. So first off, I bought 2 overclocks, and this thing is going to have 100% overclock uptime. And we can also do this. We can buy the Relentless Glue. And actually, is this placement even good for the Relentless Glue? Now I'm thinking maybe we can buy like maybe something that's more in the middle. Maybe like this. Should I be buying a second one? You know what, because we're not going to be spending any money on anything else, we also get a bunch of free upgrades. This is kind of luring me in. I don't know, I'm going to buy it. Let's just buy it like this. And just take a look at this guy go. I mean, this tower feels like cheating, guys. Look at how much damage it does. Like, it's once you buy it, it's like not even close with these rounds. You're probably going to be starting to get close, like, I don't know, like in the 90s or something like that. But until we reach that point, this is just like the gameplay has been happening for the past 20 rounds. Look at it go. It is, let me overclock it. Look at it go versus all of these mob class balloons. It is just eating these guys up, and it's round 83 in free play. Yeah, let's watch 84 as well, so you guys get an idea of what's happening. But basically, yeah, this is essentially the primary expertise gameplay. Let me just buy the MIB, by the way, so we're getting ready for the call to arms. Let's overclock it and let's just watch it go down versus these guys. So it's not exactly, you know, 2-3 shotting the BFBs, but it's like not even struggling versus them, to be honest. And the call to arms is gonna be right on time for the 90s. I think we barely don't have the money for it, missing about $200, but we're gonna have the first DETs from round 90, so this thing is gonna be eating up DETs as well, because again, it does a lot of damage. The thing with the DETs is that they're not exactly, you know, beefy with HP. They're just super fast. That's the problem. Now let's buy the call to arms, and there we go. I think this is pretty much the setup. I mean, I was thinking of just like adding an alchemist, but I'm not sure how many pops an alchemist would be taking. I mean, maybe we could have one right over here on the side. Like, the only benefit that the primary expertise is gonna have from an alchemist is just gonna be the attack speed, right? Because the other stuff like +1 damage or like, I don't know, like +3 pierce or something like that, yeah, that's not gonna work for this thing. It has too much of those things anyways. So now the only thing that matters is just using these abilities properly. We do have Geraldo and his Regen Potion, so we can refresh abilities if necessary, but that's the only thing that we're gonna be spending money on. Let me just, by the way, use the call to arms. Let's just buff this thing up so we can deal with this round pretty quickly. And let's do a pop count check before we enter like these more serious rounds. So still 20,199, which means that this stuff is not taking any other pops. This Alchemist is 134, that's completely fine. This one is at 817. Geraldo is at 10 pops, so yeah, so far so good, guys. We're doing extremely well, but let's just keep it going until the end of the game. So round 94, I think I'm actually going to use the call to arms on this one just to kind of speed things up, especially versus these UMGs. Alright, so round 95, this shouldn't be a problem. We are going to have one overclock in a second, and then the call to arms is still not ready. Do we need to use it? I don't think that we do. Let's actually save the call to arms and let's use it on 96. Let's just watch what's happening on this round. So yeah, because of the stun of the Relentless Glue, I know that we have 2 of these guys, but I feel like having 2 is not even bad in this case, right? And that's round 95. We managed to save the call to arms. Let me check Geraldo's level, by the way. Okay, so level 19, really important, because on level 20, he fully restocks his shop, which means that we're gonna get 2 free rejuve potions. So let me use the call to arms on this one, get rid of the small balloons like the BFBs and the small 45 ones. Let's go like this, and we are taking care of the small balloons. Now we only need to take care of the big ones, the ZMGs, and guys, this is looking real well. So 1.4 million pops in total so far with the primary expertise. Are we actually doing this thing? I think we are. The way that this guy's going through these balloons, he's just melting them, guys. He's just going through them, no problem. So I think we might actually have this thing. Let's just wait for the last 3 rounds. So the only thing that this guy might actually struggle against might be the bad balloon at the end, because it's just not good versus, you know, these beefy balloons. But I don't know, like everything else seems to, I think we're gonna deal with round 98 just fine. I saved both of the abilities, by the way. Let me just check Geraldo's levels. So he is, yeah, so he's gonna get level 20 on the next round, which means let's go all out on this one. So let's use the call to arms, let's use the rejuve, and as soon as the call to arms ends onto this one, I'm gonna use the other one as well. Let's use the second call to arms, another overclock, and we can use one more rejuve potion, which I'm actually gonna do because we have a lot of money. I actually want to get this round over with as soon as possible. So I don't want to be letting this round, you know, making all the way around and just letting get attacked by this alchemist, maybe like getting some pops onto this sub. I don't want to have all these things happen. So let's use the cold arms again. This is cold arms number 3, by the way, on this round, and the UNGs have still not started popping, but this little stun that's coming out from the relentless glue is actually, you know, it's keeping these balloons in place for a millisecond. It's really nice, it's really helping, I think. Some 45 mobs up top. Let's overclock again, and that is it with the abilities. So no more abilities left. I hope that we kind of, I really want to take our time actually with this round now, because I want to get the cooldowns back for 99, and all the UMGs have popped. Yeah, so this alchemist is attacking a little bit, so he's still like closer to 2,000 pops, which is the reason why I didn't want to have this guy in the first place, by the way. We take out this entire round, and Geraldo is level 20, so let's go like this. Let's use the overclock, and let's actually, if we can save the call to arms for round 100, actually I want to do that instead. So let's just watch what's happening on this round. We are dealing with them, right? It's overclocked. I mean, we are popping it. How much pops is this guy taking? Not enough, I don't think. He's at like 2,000 pops, so I think it's completely fine, right? A few DTs left. Are we even, I'm gonna need you to pop those guys. Yes, there we go. And round 100, guys. Okay, the last one. So let's call to arms, let's overclock, and we have 2 rejuve potions, right? And we need to use both of these guys in this round. So let's rejuve right now, actually. Call to arms ended, so let's do one more round of call to arms. So call to arms, overclock, and then this is gonna be the last rejuve. And as soon as this call to arms ends, I'm gonna use the other one, and let's just check the pops. 1,900,000 and almost at 60k. Yeah, so the call to arms ended. Let's use, this is gonna be the last one. We are gonna save one more overclock, and guys, this is it. This is the last push. We need to get it right now. So in total, the pop count on all the towers is the same, right? So 20k, 5.5 on this one, 2k on the alchemist. This guy at the bottom is at 830. Geraldo should be still at 10, and then these guys at the bottom, oh my god, 400 pops on this thing. I know that there's still a lot of room, but this is what I was talking about. Look, we're bad versus bad balloons. So let me actually get an absolute 0 here on the side. $2,000 remaining. Okay, this is super close. We do get one more call to arms, so let's use it. Let's overclock, and then I'm gonna freeze the DTs as soon as they appear. So this thing should be popping like any second. I feel like it's on the last layer. I'm gonna need you to pop it right now. Please, just, is the damage even gonna be enough? Yes, there we go. So we popped. Let's freeze these guys. Like, DTs are gone like 2 shots, but these guys are the ones that actually need to pop. So let me freeze the UMGs one more time, guys. Is this gonna be enough? Like, do we drop some glues or something like that? We do have the Moab glue, so I guess this is about it. We have the call to arms ready, so let's overclock and let's call to arms. And guys, this is the last push. 195, 98. Yes, we passed it. Now just defeat the round, please. And yes, there we go. And there it is. 2,012,414 pops. We actually did it with the primary expertise. The meme, guys, is no longer a meme, it looks like. But yeah, this was such a fun run. And actually, it turns out that buying this plutonium reactor was the correct choice, because I think it saved us a lot of headaches in the 50s. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.